All right, you know what? You already know what time it is, man. Gwinnett Song, X Malone checking in right here. Happy Monday, Atlanta. Happy Monday, America, man. It's a very special interview I'm doing today. I'm super happy. I got my homegirl, one of my little BFFs, one of my hustlers, grinders, Mia Fairnot, in the building, sitting in this Monday morning. How you doing this morning, Mia?
I'm great. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm happy to see you.
Very
this
happy
morning,
to see you.
man.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
This is an interview that, man, I couldn't wait to do, especially, you know what I mean, when we heard that we had the show, Rise and Grind Morning Show, Live Hip Hop Daily, man. I wanted to do this interview because it hit home to me. You know what I mean? I say it hits homes because we had a project that we worked on together, and I'm very excited to be putting it out, man. You know what I mean? I'm very excited to be putting it out, but I want to get into that later. But right now, I want them to know who you are. So if you could just kind of brief them real quick, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Give them your IG or something, or, you know what
All
I mean?
right.
Just tell them who you is.
All right.
Yeah.
So Mia Fairnot. Some know me as Mia Fairnot, but IG is the Mia Mel _ Writer's Addict. Or you might just find it at Writer Addict, essentially. So I do the corporate thing by day, but the passion is really the writing piece. I started writing at a very young age. I actually used to songwrite and I was singing, so kind of came up through, spent some time in LA, worked with some artists out that way, and then came back out to Atlanta and was still kind of doing my independent artist piece. And, you know, it's the first love of mine, and from the songwriting, and when I kind of, you know, the entertainment industry can be crazy, but I you know, you have to know your niche, your hustle, essentially, and mine has been writing. That's what I could do in my sleep, so I turned that whole piece into just staying with the songwriting and working with different local artists and kind of falling back from the singing, and honestly now working on some scripts, our project, some TV scripts that I'm working on. So essentially the whole Writer's Addict movement is about that being your addiction to the point where you don't sleep. That's what you do. So eventually want to build a team out and have more addicts around, essentially. A lot of addicts. You can't keep not too many addicts around you, but enough addicts, essentially. But that's what the whole movement's about.
Okay,
and,
I like that. Now I heard you just say that, you know what I'm saying, you got your 9-to-5 hustle. I like to bring people on the show that keep it funky, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here that be like, man, I don't go to work, bro, I ain't gonna get no job.
Exactly.
Like, that way you broke, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you still have to eat.
You still gotta eat.
Yeah.
And there's very few people that really got that hustle, that grit, and that grind not to go to work.
Yeah.
And still bring home that check. I know a couple of them. Shout out to them, man.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people still gotta get that 9-to-5. Okay, but I want to ask you a quick question. How do you balance that 9-to-5 versus your hustle? You know what I mean? Like, how do you have to put in that overtime after you go and work that 8 hours at your corporate?
Essentially, like, you know, you find windows when you break down the hours in a day from the time that you wake up to the time that you lay your head down. Like, you determine that. So what you're doing within those blocks of time really says, okay, well, this is what I could focus on. And once you become a master of your craft, essentially, then you know how much time you need to dedicate. But if you're putting even an hour into your hustle every single day and still getting your 9-to-5 and still getting adequate amount of sleep, whatever that is, right? then
don't sleep,
right? then essentially that's how you make it work. But you got to be really intentional and focused with your time. A lot of times we have things in our day that's filler. So it's like, I can't get distracted by this, I can't get distracted by that. I got to know what I'm doing when I wake up, what I'm doing at that lunch hour, if that's writing something, what I'm doing when I get off. You have a lot more time than you think you do, you know, in a day.
Very true. And, all right, now, where did the whole Writer's Addict, you know, kind of come from? Like, with the name, where did that even spawn from, the Writer's Addict movement?
Well, so, I took the writing piece and I just thought, like, you know, if you become, what is addiction, right? There are so many different things you can get addicted to. And I thought it was a good play on words, really, because addiction or addicts have a negative connotation, and we're not talking about alcohol or drugs in any capacity. Like, this is something good to be addicted to. Writing is therapeutic, it's freeing, it changes lives, you know, from the songs that you listen to, from the books that you read to everything. So that's really where it came out of, a nice play on words and being addicted to something that's positive and is all about enlightenment, essentially. So.
I like that. So was it you, or did you know what I mean, you kind of bite off someone?
No, nobody. That was a late night thought that that's all me. So if anybody tries to come and say they had that, we might have some words.
But it's dope how you can take, you know what I mean, just an idea and really formulate it into, you know what I mean, your own business, something that's really tangible.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? And speaking, kind of segueing, you know what I'm saying, taking an idea to something that's tangible. To talk about the book, man, the art behind the hustle, like, I really feel this is going to be a great piece that people really need to read, and it's not because we did it. It's just in the as we started doing it, it started out as an idea. Mm-hmm. As we were working our 9 to 5 together, she used to be my manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, man.
Yeah,
you know
shout
what I'm
out
saying?
to that E-Rack.
She used to crack the whip. She used to craft the whip. But we used to rap a lot, and a small conversation turned into almost 10, 11, 12 chapters.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Of solid information to help our generation, and probably a generation younger than us, move through this thing that we call life. Yeah. And I just want to tip my head to you for the work that you really put in, because people need to read this.
Well, thank you. It's also your story, so you know, all I did really was piece together what I thought you were wanting to say and the message that you wanted to put out there, and telling your story, but doing it in a way to where, like you said, like, we can impact generations now and hopefully future generations, essentially. So you know, to me, that's dope. You have a dope story, and a lot of people think that you have to be at this level of success to give knowledge, but it's all like a recycle effect, if you will. You aren't successful in this world by like retaining information and holding on to that, you know what I'm saying? And that's all, it comes full circle. So
you're absolutely right,
you know,
man.
so it goes both ways. So thank you for allowing me to tell your story and entrusting me with that. That's a huge honor. So
man, that's love.
Yeah.
What was your best part of writing the book, or what did you like the most? I'd
have to say it was just how it kind of started to flow. It became, you know, taking our idea and then just allowing it to manifest into what it is now, and not forcing it. I remember this Jay-Z line, like he said, you know, you don't go into the booth like wanting to create a hit. So we didn't come up with the idea or start kind of piecing it together. And I think even coming up with the name, the art behind the hustle, and recognizing that it's an art and that it's a canvas, it's a blank canvas, your hustle is, and you have tons of canvases, and really, how does a painter paint, essentially, and painting it slowly, and all the intricate details that go into that. And that's what it felt like. So the book essentially is a canvas in and of itself too.
And see, like, this is, we're talking about an idea to now. This is almost 5 years?
Yeah, like 5 years.
This project is, I used to always think like, yo, how you write a book? You'd be like, bro, why you take 5 years to write a book?
No, a lot of people, some people take longer than that to put out a book. And, you know, and I've read a lot of books that end up being really, you know, they could have taken a little longer to, in my opinion, right? Yeah. So, yeah, and you can't, you've told that to me plenty of times before. Like, you can't rush the creative process, essentially, because you're still building and everything of that nature. And if we were to have it come out too soon, then it would have been premature. So, you know, it's all aligning as it should.
Man. Yeah. It's so much I want to ask you, you know what I mean, about the book, and it's like, I know we got a short time span, but what do you feel the people should read first? Out of what we got now, what do you feel the people not should read first, should really pay attention to in the book?
Underlying tone and a message in the book that people should pay attention to of really tapping into internally who you are and then figuring out what works for you. You know, we don't have to search for what our purpose is on earth. And a lot of times we spend more time than we should doing that. So I want people to really pick up that what your purpose to do or what your hustle is, you already know what it is. You just haven't executed. You're letting whatever internally, maybe circumstances that are external, like hold you back. So really spend some time with yourself. You got to, build yourself up however you need to do that with daily affirmations and reading the book essentially, and then just go for it. So I really think that that's like the underlying message that I want to hit home with people, because now we're saying, okay, here's the knowledge, here's the pep talk, here's the coach motivation. So it's on you to see how that plays out. And maybe it's something you make a part of your daily regimen and you pick it up and you keep reading that chapter. Maybe it's about painting your canvas. Maybe it's about reminding yourself of the whys. Maybe, we have some inspirational quotes in there. One of the ones I love is a quote, and not, no distant Bill Cosby. It's a Bill Cosby quote. But it's a great quote, and it's your desire for success needs to be greater than your fear of failure.
Every day. And that essentially is to me, like, if you remember that piece, then you just know you got to push a little bit more. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah.
For this. It's like I want to do more, but it's almost just like that time where you like.
Yeah.
What's your best? What do you think the best chapter is?
I think the opening, the foundation that's laid. So like the forward or the intro, essentially, to me is the best chapter.
Yeah, I love the intro.
Yeah,
the intro
it sets the scene, right? Yeah, this isn't a
Tokyo.
Yeah,
with all the buildings around
you,
exactly. And everybody speaking a different language.
Exactly.
But it brings you right back in, and the next thing you know, you speaking the language of the people. You know what I mean? The hustlers. You know what I mean? And that's what I really want this book to really cater to. And I really think I ain't riding your jock.
No, it's all good.
But the love that you put into the book, man, like, it's gonna change somebody's life.
Yeah.
And over these 5 years, it ain't too many people that can say they, you know what I'm saying, they effectively changed somebody's life. They effectively changed the direction that somebody's life was going in.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm hoping we can do. Is there anything you want to ask me about the book real quick?
I would want to say then, kind of throw a similar question back at you. Like, what has been the most I don't know, not even challenging part, because like this is also your story and we're also like writing it. So what to me like is has been the most rewarding part of this whole process for you? Because like you said, 5 years strong, and we're still kind of at it and putting the finishing touches on it. But
it was more therapeutic than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was one of the things that I really wanted to get off my chest, and I really didn't know how to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I ain't a rapper, so it ain't like I could go to the booth and lay down, 12 tracks.
Yeah.
But I knew it was something that people needed to hear. I knew that this journey that I've led on wasn't for nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if I can help one person younger than me in another generation to get through this a little easier, a little faster, a little quicker, I did my job. Mia, I love you.
Yeah,
thank you so
too,
much.
Man. Appreciate it.
The art behind the hustle coming soon, man. Give them your plugs one more time.
Yeah,
you need them followers.
Yeah, I do need them followers. So Mia Mel _ Writer's Addict. Writer Addict, essentially. You can catch me on Facebook, but really kind of follow that hashtag. Writer's Addict movement. You can find me that way as well, and a couple other writing projects coming soon. If you're a writer out there, get at me. Still looking to build my team out, and we have a couple other things in store this year. So thank you.
You already know what time it is, man. Gwinnett Song, X Malone, Mia Fairnot.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming out this morning. Rise and Grind Morning Show, Live Hip Hop Daily. Everybody have a good Monday, man. Good Monday morning. Stay on your grind. Stay on your hustle, man. Holla at me if you need them shirts. I am your shirt plug. Rainy Photos.